Welcome to this new video on Assetto Corsa Rally, in which I'm simply going to test out the new features from the 0.5 update. This update just came out on June 29, 2026, and it adds a lot of things. So, not necessarily in terms of content, even though there are still a few new things. It's mainly an update with significant changes, improvements, and added features. I think there are quite a few things added here that were highly anticipated by the Assetto Corsa Rally community. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know if you're satisfied with the new additions, expected something else in this update, or wanted the developers to focus on other aspects of Assetto Corsa Rally. Today, I'll show you as much as I can about this update, hoping it encourages you to play the game again. Don't forget, just before that, a little bit of information. Let me remind you that if you want to buy the game, Assetto Corsa Rally, it's much cheaper. Through my instant gaming link, which you'll find below this video, you can get it for 40% off, and that means big savings for you. Plus, every time you use my link to buy games, you support my channel. Thanks to everyone who takes a look. Regarding the content of this update, we already have a new rally, the Rally of Greece, with 2 new stages, Alatia and Ultra Key, which I think are really some of the easiest stages in the game, though it's still a rally game, with winding roads with very little tarmac, but not much elevation, not many tricky roads here, and almost all dirt. There aren't many changes in the type of asphalt and surface, so it's really, let's say, pretty much all Assetto Corsa in rally mode. With these 2 new stages, I'll show them to you. Knowing that right now, we're on Alatia. We're on the first one. We're on 2 stages that, in total, will be 22 kilometers, and they're going to be, let's say, kind of in the same biomes as what you're seeing here. That is, really ultra sunny, really. It's dry, it's arid, there's dust, there's dry dirt everywhere. Environments that are fun to explore and visually appealing. Because, on top of that, this 0.5 update adds some graphical improvements, better dust management, better rendering, lighting, reflections. A few new details have been added to certain cars, but also when it comes to the crowd, with a crowd that's a bit more detailed, and characters that really have better animations and look, let's say, less robotic than before this update. Unfortunately, in terms of content, the update is pretty light. As I mentioned, it's more of an update that will change and add features rather than an update that's really about pure content. Here, we have 2 special stages, and that's about it. There are no new cars. There's also no new weather or anything else really to test on that front. As I mentioned, there are several key changes, especially in physics. A brand new tire model and physics system have been added. So don't worry, it's like usual with Assetto Corsa. When a new tire model is added to the game, if you're already used to playing Assetto Corsa, you won't feel out of place, okay? It's not really like starting from scratch. They've simply applied to the cars a new physics system derived from the physics that was used up until now. The goal of this new physics is to make the game as realistic as possible. There are mainly 4 things that are changed with this new physics, and they're really, let's say, really obvious when it comes to the driving feel. Of course, you can also give me your opinion about this in the comments. If you think it's more like Rally now, better now, or prefer the old physics. But basically, there's better management of bulldozing. So basically to put it simply, it's a more realistic management of the tire's footprint in the mud, especially in the snow. Also, the way the tire will sink into the ground, how it will deform the terrain, and let's say, the rest of the tire tread, how should I put it, will be affected by the deformations in the terrain that you just made. There's also better management of the inside of the tires. Because up until now, up until this update, basically, when you took a turn, especially when you were sliding, not necessarily drifting, but just a simple slide of the vehicle, the inside of the tire, the one on the opposite side of the turn, wasn't really contributing anymore. In fact, that tire was no longer being properly simulated for grip by the game's physics. It was simply being pulled by the car's weight in the opposite direction, whereas now it's going to be properly simulated. The way the tire will flatten and deform, and what impact this deformation and flattening will have on the handling of the vehicle. I'll show you part of the other special stage, starting with the Ultra Key, while I talk to you a bit about the other physics modifications, just to give you a little preview of the 2 different special stages. So, if I can start, there we go, we're good. So, indeed, among the new features in the physics, there's also the fact that the tires will now, how should I say, react differently depending on the surface you're on. So, obviously that was already the case before. When you were driving on dirt, snow, or in the rain, you didn't have the same handling, of course. Luckily, it's a simulation game, so of course that was already the case. Except that until now, it was really a pure reaction calculated by the game's physics engine. Starting with this 0.5 update, the game's developers have actually imposed certain values that will be artificially modified to make it more precise. In fact, just because it's artificial doesn't mean it's worse. They're simply going to impose certain physics values on the tires depending on the surface you're on, depending on the type of surface. So that, regardless of the overall physics of the game, this is achieved in the most realistic way possible. Well, depending on all the circumstances, depending on all the race conditions. To finish, while these aren't the only changes to the physics, these are the most important to me. There was a general rework of the width of the racing line, which will offer the best grip. When you go through a section or a corner where another vehicle has passed before you, because actually, until now, when the game simulated that another car had passed before us and could have deformed the terrain, which could have left tire tracks, moved mud, snow, or even just dug into the dirt. Until now, the fact that a car had passed before didn't actually change the ideal racing line for the best grip. But now, that's going to change. If you're following another car and the game simulates one passing ahead of you, the recalculation of the racing line for optimal grip will be done dynamically, in real time, based on the trajectory of the car that passed in front of you. That's pretty cool and will be really useful, especially for multiplayer, the main new feature in this update. We're going to try it out now that multiplayer is finally available on Assetto Rally. Indeed, now we can start multiplayer. There are two options. Either create your own lobby with your own rules, weather, cars, and everything that goes with it, or join already existing lobbies. So I'm going to try to join one. Let's see a bit how it works. Knowing that the developer explained this is really the first phase, the first version of multiplayer, and because this first version isn't fully finished yet, more things, more modes, and more features will be added gradually in multiplayer. For now, there are some restrictions, like for example, the servers can only support 16 players.
Par exemple, que les serveurs peuvent supporter que 16 joueurs.
The servers can't, for now, really handle rally championships. You can only do one stage in multiplayer, and then you have to restart your session. For now, the game in multiplayer can't handle several stages in a row. So, there will be official lobbies, really managed by the game, that will be available all the time, 24/7. And then, there will be lobbies created by players, which won't necessarily be available all the time. It will simply depend on whether the person hosting the server is available or not. So, for now, unfortunately, it's a bit like on Assetto Corsa Evo, the server search interface. It's kind of crappy in the sense that it's not nice. There really aren't many ways to filter. It's really not simple in terms of interface, but it's not a big deal. We'll still try to join a server, knowing that the restrictions are displayed anyway. You know, the track, the number of players, whether they're waiting for a race or already in a race. Obviously, also the car category that will be used during this event. Alright, here we go. First multiplayer event. I hope we won't have any server issues and that it'll be stable. And unsurprisingly, this is synchronized multiplayer. But without being able to see the other cars, what I mean by that is that, indeed, I can't see, not even in ghost mode, the position of the other cars, the other players on the track. At the same time as me, the only way we know if we're ahead or behind the others is that at the top of the screen, where there's the little bar that usually shows the different sections of the stage we're currently doing, there are little red markers that indicate the position. Damn. The position of the other players on the stage. And that's the only thing that actually lets you know if you're ahead or behind the others.
Il n'y a pas, à ma connaissance.
So, as far as I know, there isn't. Unless maybe there's an option to activate it, but in that case, I haven't found it. As far as I know, there's no way to display the other players' cars, and even less to have collisions with them. So it's really a competitive multiplayer mode where, in the end, only our time is compared to that of the other players, and there's no way to block anyone. Well, that's it. It's rally racing, really. So it's synchronized multiplayer, sure, but in the end, you just feel a bit alone. So, I got some penalties, which means we might be in trouble in the final ranking. I don't think it'll be great. But it's also an opportunity, then, to introduce you to the Ultra Key. Because, as I was explaining, this stage we're doing in multiplayer is actually the new stage. Well, it's one of the two new stages. For now, obviously, there are still quite a few routes that I don't know yet. I actually think this rally is the easiest in the game. There are still, obviously, some sections that can hold a few surprises, of course. Feel free to use the comment section below this video to give me your opinion on the update if you're satisfied with it. If you get a chance to try out the multiplayer, if you think it's cool, or if you were hoping for something else, don't hesitate to leave a like. It always helps with visibility, and it's always appreciated. And of course, oh, it's this way. Subscribe for the next videos and come follow me on Twitch for the upcoming live streams. It's always appreciated. Also, well, I don't think we made a very good time. There's a DNF system, obviously. After 5 minutes, if not everyone has finished, the event ends for everyone. This ensures you won't be penalized more than that, even if some in your lobby are very slow. So, how do we finish this? I guess I have to stop at the finish line. Well, quite simply, let's see if there's a little debrief of the times at the end of the event. Yeah, there's a summary of the penalties. In the end, I'm second, 34 seconds behind. It's not great, but it could have been worse. What? So, that's it. I'm ending the clip here. I'll see you soon for a new one. Bye.